Jeez. Hello, you're back watching the Single Malt Review. I'm Dave, this is Tim, and today's whiskey is something a little bit different and a little special.
Yeah, it's a little bit different and it's a little bit familiar. Also, we should say the goodness mingus, if you knock that camera over, come on. No. Oof. Okay. Good. Now it's all canted off. It's fine. It'll be okay. Where the hell was I? Yes, Glenallachie. This is something a bit different, but something instantly recognisable. It's Glenallachie. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to bloody say before Mingus derailed me with his presence. The next few whiskies we're going to try are actually a few loaner bottles we've got from a local aficionado who's been good enough to let us try a few from his collection, which is very, very useful because it means we don't have to go and source them ourselves. So cheers for that one, and I hope you enjoy our takes on these lovely whiskies you've lent us. So, Glenallachie, Distillery edition, they like to call this one. So, circumspect there. And this is a bit weird because, as those of you familiar with Glenallachie will know, this doesn't look like the Glenallachie branding that they've done, those sort of squat bottles with the funny text on them. This is completely different. And so our initial thought when we were talking about this was, well, is this old? Is this pre-Billy Walker sort of stuff that's been floating around? And I'm sure it's not, because this is still for sale. This is for sale everywhere. So they're making this. They're just making it round the back, I think. This is Glenallachie for people that this core range, the craft-focused range with the numbers on, that's for different people. This is for maybe people who like to buy their whiskey at, the Sainsbury's. Wouldn't not to say there's anything wrong with buying whiskies at the Sainsbury's. It's a good place to get nice budget drops like these ones. But yeah, completely divorced from the branding. Will not show up on the website. Will not show up as part of the catalogue. And I've got a few theories about this, but we'll.
It does have a look of being designed to look more like a mainstream, what the average person would think of as a standard whiskey bottle. We've got the same kind of labelling, the same kind of italicising keywords in the description. Because there's nothing that really outlandishly unique here. It's designed to look like part of the crowd, but still be recognised with Glenallachie due to the brand name. But just going for aiming for mainstream appeal. And with no age statement at 40%, then we've seen quite a few of these. No age statement single malt whiskies. They're much more affordable, but they're still tasty, still very enjoyable, easy to get into.
Yeah. And if they are indeed still making this, around the back, which they may or may not, it's funny enough, very hard to get information on this, but this may be a little bit more Glenallachie than even the core range, because the Billy Walker and crew, they've only been in there for a few years. They won't have 10-year-old whiskey that they've distilled for quite some time. So everything from the 10-year-old cask strength up, that's all stock they acquired when they bought the distillery, not stuff they've had a hand in their manufacturing. But there could be in here, or in more recent iterations of these, some of their own distilling gone into it. So it could be actually kind of one to watch as the years unfold, as they get closer and closer to the 10-year-old milestone, and then Billy Walker can really slap his name on a bottle of 10-year-old Glenallachie. I haven't called it Craigallachie yet, but I'm going to. The number is counting down or up to 1. But anyway, so we will take this for what it is and see what they've got for us. And it's a pretty promising nose.
It is.
That is Glenallachie, all right.
There is some obviously young whiskey in there, but it's also a nice, rich honey.
Yep, for every bit that it's young and spirity.
Bit of coconut and almond and some other classically bourbon cask notes.
Yeah, it's got that huge, drippy honey caramel thing that is one of the key notes for Glenallachie for me. I mean, you could say that that's in all such whiskies, but it's so distinct in Glenallachie. That real honeyed richness is really right up the front on this one. We've got a bit of sort of space-hardy white fruits and quite a lot of sort of honeyed toasted nuts as well, but not a massive complexity, and not a lot of, funnily enough, not a lot of aged characters going on. Oh, and we should say, obviously coloured, chill, filtered, 40%, the standard, the Sainsbury's, treatment.
Ooh, it's got a bit of an edge to it. There is a young spirit harshness, but Other than that, though, it is sweet, it is creamy, it's a very luscious texture. It is a very nice finish, a good mouthfeel after that initial spirit-driven heat.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's definitely only just old enough. It's right on the line, but whereas some whiskies, they maybe have 1 foot behind that line. They haven't quite come to a screaming halt exactly on it, and it really they suffer from it. This one, it knows exactly where the line is, and it's poised directly over the top of it. They know exactly what they're doing with this, and it is whiskey that is old enough and not a day more. It doesn't give you anything that it doesn't need to, but for what it's presenting, which is just a nice, still perfectly rich, satisfying Speyside dram.
Oh, and the water has really activated some more Speyside, really brought out the fruit. Without that, though, I'm thinking, it fits in nicely with the idea of this is the kind of aimed to be more mass market, a casual drinker's whiskey with a broader appeal than an age statement single malt. Because I think, honestly, this would appeal really well to people who want to maybe introduce Scotch to their bourbon-loving friends. It's got that same combination of sweet, easy drinking, but also a bit of harshness, a bit of heat, a bit of sandpaper because of that younger spirit. Yeah. So it'd be good as a kind of like an entry-level gateway whiskey.
I think as entry-level whiskies go, this is one of the better ones. We've tried quite a few, and discounting the cask strength ones, batch strength ones, which are a bit more sort of special, this one is, I think, it's kind of one of my favourite. Maybe not quite as good as the Heritage Blend from Glenfarclas. We had that one recently, and it was really quite staggeringly good for an OH statement, but this one's pretty hot on its heels, I think, quality-wise. Scores for this guy, I'll probably give this one, I think it's a pretty sound 85 on this. Ooh, almost did myself an accident there. What are your feelings as scores?
This is very closely trailing the Loch Lomond original for me. I rated it 80 points. Yeah. If I had some ginger ale or some Coke to hand, I reckon this would mix perfectly. It'd be a
maybe. No, you're a more daring man.
Daring
man than I.
For a whiskey that's designed for the people, all the people, then this could go places.
Can't do fizzy. Can't do fizzy spirits. Something bad happens inside me.
Good on its own. Good with company. Good with other drinks.
Yeah,
almost certainly.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Not too complicated, and it's budget as well. Where does this sit price wise? This was 50 New Zealand dollars. You can pick it up for now, and that makes it. That makes it in the top, well, rather the bottom, right on the bottom edge for there is no way you can pay less to get a bottle of single malt.
It's on par, say, Johnny Walker Black, isn't it? Is it about 50?
Ooh,
something like
50, that? Yeah, for a 700, I guess. It's been a long time since I bought black and anything under a litre, but yeah, for single malts, especially with ones with the distillery name on them and not some whatever made up stuff that they slapped on there. This one, pretty priced to move, you'd say that one. So, I think that's a pretty good endorsement for that. That really is. I'm liking this more and more with that water as well. This is a great summertime dram, which is good for us because it's just coming into that sort of season now. But yeah, I like it. So cheers to Glenallachie for that one. I think I made it through. I didn't say Glenallachie once. I'm cured. It's never going to happen again, definitely. That proves it. All right. Well,
cheers also to a viewer who kindly loaned this to us for us to sample.
And we've got something really special coming up, but we're gonna warm into it. We've got one more lighter bodied something to check out first. All right, Slanger, we'll be right back.